Hello folks, and welcome back to City Skylines. As always, I'm Falcon, your host, and you will note I demolished all of that industry stuff that we were doing because we didn't have anywhere even vaguely close to the quantities of people we needed to work in all of that. Like, if you come up here and you look at my existing industry, the stuff that's already here, and we come in and we look at well, hell, here's a prime example. They don't have quite enough workers. They have most of what they need, but not all of it. Would you stop that, cat? Seriously. Go away. No, it's not for you to mess with. Just sitting right at my desk, like, playing with everything that I have on my desk. And being a little annoying, but I loves you. But you see, like, well, there you actually have... You're making up for it with overeducated people. But yeah, the point is, like, we don't have the appropriate quantities. Like, we're not even close to the quantity we need there. We're supposed to have 32, it only has 22. Too many overeducated people, not enough of everything else. I mean, it's a problem. Some of this, of course, could be solved if we had more jobs, period. So if this expands out some more, we might be able to manage another industrial section, maybe on this side of the river. But the specialized industries require... and I had said this before when I started building them. Specialized industries require, you know, low education or uneducated people, not highly educated. And my city is rapidly heading toward, you know, highly educated. And we just don't have the people to run those industries. We just don't. So I went ahead and just demolished them completely because they weren't going to accomplish anything. So, I mean, it was really pointless to even have them because they weren't going to manage to do anything. So we got rid of them. I have expanded up into all the way to the edge of the map here that we have available to us right now. Chunks of area, lots of residential and lots of high commercial and high residential. We have all of the necessary, or at least most of the necessary things that those areas will need once they fill out. You know, we have high school, we have an elementary, we have some playground to get the parks and happiness stuff and that kind of thing down. We've got hospitals. This is... The destination here is a DLC, or, you know, not DLC, but player-created content version of a crematorium, but it's like the super version, as it has a capacity of 1,000 instead of 100. And, yeah, it's basically the super version of that. Police headquarters, fire station, medical, you know, hospital. This area building here is a new building. One of the requirement buildings for, like, the, you know, the... Specifically which one this was... medical center, there we go. And you see we needed to have the passenger harbor and the cargo harbor, which we have. So that's that. That I just put down right there because... not really a bad place to put it. It's not too bad of a place. Our city has grown significantly in these regions and continues to grow. We are doing quite well, really. And I actually am contemplating coming in here, removing this park that I built here, and then replacing it with one of these considerably better parks. Because these things are vast improvements. And I can just kind of rearrange and move this road a little bit. To still get some of the coverage that it provides, but not, you know, have the considerably better parks. But I don't know that I really... Well, number one, I don't know that I really need them. And number two, even if I do need them... to be honest, I'm not entirely sure I want them. Because they take up a lot of space. And they're probably overkill for the most part. Yeah, you know what? I might build like one of them right there. Why not? We'll build one just because we need a little bit of something going on to help reinforce this area for park type things, but it's not super necessary. The main thing we're going to do today, though, in this episode, is I'm going to expand down and fill up the rest of this this area here. We're going to fill in all the way to the coast there, and then we're going to start extending downward into down here where we had done that industrial stuff. Now I think, as I said, I think I'm going to do industrial here in this chunk, and that honestly will probably last me for quite a while, because even managing to man the low level, we actually kind of have a little bit of a problem, really. Low-level industry requires low education workers. And then, you know, it's not until you hit level 3 that they can really use highly educated people. Because if you find one that's not at level 3, which we did earlier, but let me just see if I can find one real quick, so I can demonstrate this as I talk about it. That's apparently proving to be more difficult than I would have expected, because it does seem that most of my industry here is level 3, which is actually a good thing, but oh, here we go. There's a level 1. See, this place is basically screwed here. Like, they're never gonna accomplish anything. They're never going to develop, they're never gonna get anywhere, because... Go away. And they're never gonna get anywhere because they're not gonna get those uneducated workers. They're just not. They might manage to get a little bit of it because, you know, most of these other places don't need it. We don't have a whole lot of use for them. And when we build new regions, you know, we get a huge influx of population, and those people don't have education when they start. And if we don't go in and select the, this needs to go away, the education boost thing, because this makes the priority for them to get educated over working. If we don't set that in a new area, those people will go and work instead. And when they go work, well, then you have a chance of them actually managing to do something. As far as working in, you know, this more, you know, the unadvanced regions like that. The problem is fairly obvious, however. Oops. Is that when you don't have new regions, you really don't have the ability to have these, you know, low-level things. And it just makes it very difficult to try to expand new areas. So in order to try to develop that industrial area, in fact, if I want to develop that industrial area at all, like at all, I pretty much have no choice than to... Just trying to make sure I have all of this covered here. I pretty much have no choice than to build this at the same time that I'm building residential, new residential, like on this side down here, which is what we'll have to do when we build that, because then, you know, the newly arriving uneducated people will go work there long enough for those places to level up. Or at least that's the plan. It's the hope. Whether that will actually occur is somewhat questionable. But unfortunately, there's not really a whole hell of a lot you can do about that. You just kind of have to sit and hope that that plays out the way that you would, you know, want it to. There isn't necessarily any real, this is less than ideal because these, as you can tell, there's space missing here. Unfortunately, I can't really do a whole hell of a lot about that. Well, that worked perfectly. That's hard to do, actually, right? What I just did right there, where that came out almost perfect, that is extremely difficult to actually accomplish. Almost always the game will place the, you know, will not place these such that you can do that. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm sitting here trying to decide if traffic lights are good for these areas or if they're bad. There's arguments either way. Like this. This is with a traffic light. It's still a friggin' mess, so why bother? Traffic will probably run smoother without it. But over here, it seems to actually be running, you know, at least kind of like it should be. Although it is backed up like you wouldn't believe. So I don't really know if that's an advantage or not. But it's hard to tell, really. So yeah, this will expand out, but it will expand, unfortunately, relatively slowly, because we don't have a huge amount of need for commercial or residential. In fact, right now we don't really have any need for either of those things, so it will take this area... excuse me, I've got the hiccups. It'll take this area some time to expand properly. In fact, it'll take it some time to expand, period, really. Also, unfortunately, have buildings popping up over here. You really shouldn't be popping up over there, guys. You really shouldn't. Because there's no electricity over there. You need to expand from here over to there before you'll have before any of these things will work. And unfortunately, there's limited things I can do to solve that. At least, without doing disgusting, nasty things to get them to work right. Having to come all the way down here and run that. There we go. That'll work. But it's a nasty way to do it. Fortunately, it's almost kind of necessary because... yeah. Almost kind of necessary. Hopefully we'll get some expansion in these two spots here between this stuff so it'll fill out. It'll take a little while though. Whoa, that is a big ass building right there. Huge building you just upgraded to the Oculus Rift. Nice. Nice. Yeah, the names of some of the things that they have thrown in here. Like, I've gone through and read a few just for the hell of it. There was one, I think it was an office or a residential building that said they had, I'll probably never find it now, but they had a Chipotle and, oh, the other one, Starbucks, I think it was, like near that building. That was like really shameless plugs. And I wonder if they actually, if that was a paid thing or not. Like, were they paid to put that in the game? Or is it just kind of in the game just because? Like, that they like Chipotle and Starbucks or something. Don't really know. I wouldn't be overly surprised either way, to be honest with you, but... okay. Maybe do that. No, that really doesn't work, because the... well, we might do it. We might do it anyway, just because... providing that additional through path might be a good idea, but doesn't really work how I would like it to. on general principle. Alright, we might be able to get rid of a lot of these traffic lights. Some of them may need to be reinstated at some point, but at least for the moment, we could probably get rid of a lot of them. Probably not all of them, but I can get rid of some of them at least. Probably would never be able to get rid of all of them, but at least a few of them might be doable. Actual traffic, it is. So they are taking these alternate routes, so that's actually good. That'll help clear out some of the traffic. Unfortunately, once we actually expand into this area, that most of that assistance is going to go away, but unfortunately there's, you know, really nothing that can be done about that. Particularly when you consider the fact that a lot of this is about to be deleted. Or, not deleted, but, we're going to have to expand here into areas that aren't going to get serviced by those other roads. Because we simply don't have the space for them to be serviced by those roads. Go right there. Might manage it. It's kind of nasty, but... Fortunately, we don't have a whole hell of a lot in the way of options. Okay, so we have to be very careful not to connect these. We don't want these connected. So we just need to kind of move around them. Something like that works pretty well. Not perfect. There's really nothing about it that would ever be perfect, so even in the best of circumstances. So we probably shouldn't even bother to even try to make it perfect. Really? Not gonna let me put that where I want it. Really not gonna let me put that where I want it. Alright, so let's see. If we demolish that, expand this to there. Build you there. Less than ideal, but I guess I'll take it. And unfortunately, we're gonna have the exact same problem here. Guess we can do basically the same solution, but it's nasty. Do pretty much the same solution, but it is less than ideal, unfortunately. Sadly, there's not really a whole hell of a lot I can do about that. Let's put you right there. Good deal, less than perfect, but in fact, I really don't like that. Really don't like that, because it messes up the appearance of the roads the rest of the way down. Like at the very end here, once we get to like right here, we probably have to do that. But up until then, we really don't. Really? Oh, you're so silly. So silly game. There we go. That helps. Makes it slightly less nasty. It's never going to be perfect. It's just not possible for it to be perfect. There's also another area that's never going to be perfect. But we can get kind of close. Okay, that's not too bad. It's not great by any stretch of the imagination. But it could be worse, I suppose. Okay, that probably works. We don't want too frequent roads. because then you do start to run into problems with the amount of intersections that you have. Rather, there's traffic lights or not, it does start to become a problem. If you have too many. Of course, you do need some, because then it just, you know, at least some, you don't get any coverage. So, there's limits in what you can actually do with these things, but okay, let's put all near the border here. We'll put office. Then here near the downtown region, we'll put more commercial. And then once we get down, another office right there. Office and office. And then we'll put yeah. Why am I putting those there? Because of that train track. Because the train tracks are really loud, and office space will be less affected by the noise than residential would be. Residential, people are going to be really pissed about having to live next to the train tracks. That shit is too loud. Too loud for all that. Right, that should cover us pretty good through all of there. I don't know why you aren't connected. Oh, I think I messed you up. Actually, I think I do know why you're not connected. Because I'm pretty sure I messed you up earlier when I was deleting all of that other stuff that we did last episode. I had to, I used this thing, the marquee demo thing, and doing so kind of causes you to... Well, I mean, you delete everything when you're using. You select all the options for it, and since I wanted to delete most everything, rather I really kind of wanted to or not, I ended up deleting like things that I would have rather kept, like the water pipes and such. And unfortunately, there was not a whole hell of a lot I could do about that. Just the way that it was. That's really annoying. Oh, I severed the connection there. That's obnoxious. There we go. Okay, so that covers the water for all of that. Yeah, I think I gotta fix this now. Messed up the stupid road. Stupid electricity, rather. Fortunately, we didn't put any, zoning there. Yeah, I couldn't remember what that shit was called. They put any zoning through that region, so that's okay, I guess. But less than ideal, nevertheless. Alright, so... may or may not need another hospital down here. I probably will. Looks like I do, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Doesn't necessarily mean that I don't, either. So, let's go ahead and we'll just bite the bullet and do it. We got that. Do basically the same thing, bite the bullet, and build a fire station, which for some reason will not let me build it where I wanted to build it. Build a police station, much the same reasons. And then we need a high school, because I'm quite certain that we will not have enough space, enough coverage for that with these new additions to the city, and a new elementary. Boom. And the final thing we need, because I'm quite certain that these parks aren't going to cover this, at least not very effectively, is some more park space. And I think I'm going to build it on top of these, we can probably build it in this larger section here. Let's actually do that. Oh crap, maybe we can't build it in that larger section there. It's a larger section, but it's not large enough. Well, poop. Okay. We'll build these, though. These work here. Can't build any more. That's okay. We got enough of it done that it kind of does what I was trying to do. It's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be. It'll get the job done. Okay, and this will all expand into stuff down here, and we'll be fine once it gets there. I'm not too worried about electricity and stuff not covering down here, because things will expand, and when they expand, it will solve the problem. So yes, it is a problem right now. It will not remain a problem for forever. And for the time being, I don't care that much. Now you do start to hit the problem that, like, these people are going to be mad. And because they're mad, it will negatively affect the rest of the city. Because they're continuing to try and build up here for some unfathomable reason, instead of expanding the direction the way they should be. And that's going to cause problems with the electricity, no matter what I do. Now, eventually, they'll connect on their own, without me having to do anything. It's just a matter of how long does that eventuality actually take? That may be difficult to determine, just how long that actually takes. Now you'll note we do have bus lines coming over to here to some of this. Fortunately, we're not covering quite all of it, but we're covering part of it with the black line here. So it's not too bad. Don't necessarily need too much else. I think we will need some else, simply because the black line doesn't cover over here into this section really at all. And we need at least some coverage in this region. But I don't know that we need a ton of it. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run down over here where they can connect to a couple of the other lines. And then I'll run it right along the black line there so that they get a bunch of coverage stops through all that. Have one covered, couple stops there. One directly across from there. Get one final stop and then complete the line. Voila. We will need some spots, stops. Some, a line for this area. We also need to, I need to change the color of this. Oh, the problem is now we're starting to hit a point that I've done almost all of the lines. Or almost all of the available colors. The white line. Do a white line. Do the white line. Yeah, we'll do the white line. And I do also need... We need another subway through this area. And for this area, for that matter. You see, we do have partially completed lines here, and this could actually be useful for us. Because these partially completed lines I can extend and fix a little bit and get some of the coverage that I would want out of those. Not gonna be super easy, though, to get that to work how I want it to. I might leave these intact, though, because when we do expand down here, I'll probably want those lines. That's about the only thing that was left over, though, from the massive demolition that I had to do down here with stuff. It's probably about the only thing that's still left over from when I did that. It's not completely the only thing, but it's definitely one of the few things that's left. So let's go ahead. Let's expand a little bit over to here. This will be the last thing we do this episode, is we're going to set up the, you know, a metro. Set up a little bit of metro coverage in this area. Unfortunately, this terrain makes it kind of difficult to do this how I would otherwise want to do it. Because this terrain is nasty. And it does not work very well for this kind of thing. Serves its purpose, I suppose, but it's not exactly the greatest. Okay. It works, for the most part. Alright, so let's real quick, we need to connect all of these. There we go. And I just had some strange bug land on my computer screen, which is always fun. Slope too steep. Well, shit. Well, shit. Move you on that side. I wonder if we connect there. Probably not, but you never know. We might find a way. Okay, so what needs to be done here for this to work? Sometimes it's a simple matter of build part of the line first and then try to extend it. Sometimes that works better. Oh, looks like if we move this over a little bit, if we can find a place to put it, moving it over. Move it over a little, it looks like we might be able to get it to connect. Yeah, okay. That's about what I wanted. Not perfect, but for the most part, does the job. That actually curved more than I wanted it to, but whatever. That kind of works. Looks well enough that I'll take it, I suppose. Okay, here comes connection number 1 into the lines over here. There we go. I don't like running it off of the lines. I would prefer to run it off of the rail station itself, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Let's actually connect these just like that. I almost want to build a... I guess there's no point. I almost want to build a rail station there, but I guess that wouldn't actually do anything because there's nothing there to build a rail station for. I guess there's no real point in doing that, now is there? I have no coverage in this whole region of the map. Great. Luckily, this is mostly a newer region. Although it has built up quite a bit, but it's still mostly a newer region, so I can build 1 or 2, I think, in here without upsetting the placement of everything else too severely. Okay, there we go. Alright, so connect you. And connect you. And then we run from you to there. Connect you. And then we just need to run down to slope too steep. Oh, what the hell you're on about there, buddy? Slope too steep, my butt. There we go. Okay, well, it's not too bad. Not ideal, but it's not terrible. Alright, so we just have to create a line then, I guess. Create the line there, have it go to there. There. Let's have it make this complete circle, basically. There, and then complete, and then create a new line to go to there, 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 and stop, stop, and complete. Okay, so that actually creates 2 different lines, one that makes this big loop, and then another one that does basically this loop, which should connect those relatively well. Still won't be perfect, but it shouldn't be too bad. And that also had the added benefit of connecting those for me. Because of the lines there. Okay, that works. Fortunately, most of these places are going to remain unpowered for the time being because I simply don't have anything to connect to them with. This will connect quickly enough. As should that one. This is the one that's going to be the problem because it's so far away from everything else that it's not going to connect anytime soon, but fortunately there's really not a whole hell of a lot I can do about that. This, run those down the middle there, and that way if anything fills in anywhere along that line, it'll connect it quicker. Probably about the only thing I can do for you. You shouldn't take too long to fill in, so I'm not too worried about you. And I think that's gonna be it, folks. It's turned off. Oh, it's the power plant. Of course. Of course the building is turned off. We don't need you. You are bloody useless to us. Oh, so we got some good tourists coming in. 100 passengers. I'll take it. 43 coming in on the train station. Not bad. Alright, so that completes this section and this section. So it basically completes the entire waterfront of this, well, these are kind of a series of islands, sort of. So it completes the waterfront section of this island for the most part. Other than over here, but we don't own a lot of this yet. And I'm not entirely sure what all I want to do over here yet. We'll probably make it residential, but I don't know if I want to make high, more high residential, or if I want to continue to do low over there. Here we probably won't mess with anything, because this is just a friggin' mess of roads, and screw all that noise. We'll probably continue to put things like our water stuff here, probably. And I just won't mess with anything else there. Yeah. I guess that's pretty much where we need to be. So, thanks for watching, folks. This has been City Skylines. I have been Falcon, your host. Next episode, we'll probably hit Metropolis level. And we're probably going to do some massive expansion down into this region of the map. I'll do the industrial section there, the new industrial section. Might do a little chunk of it over here too, I don't know. And we're just gonna blow this up into a massive residential and commercial region down here. So I will see you then for that. And we might do something a little different. I might try and come up with some unique idea or something for that area to make it a little more interesting. We have dead people, son. We've got dead people everywhere. Why are there so many dead people? We don't have enough hearses, probably. Probably the problem. We don't have enough hearses. It's not that the, least processed in the last week. Aw. See, I don't really know if this is a... You can't empty it like you can cemetery, so it must be a crematorium. Maybe it only cremates people when there's... Oh, yeah, see. For over 100. I guess it just doesn't do it until it absolutely needs to. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks. This has been City Skylines. I have been Falcon, your host, and I will see you all next time. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my stuff, and I will... it helps me out a lot. Take it easy. Have a good day. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.